Well, welcome back. And if you're new to my channel, you'll probably want to subscribe. I try and do 1 or 2 videos a week. Just click on the upper right-hand corner and it'll take you to my 1998 Land Rover Discovery 1 playlist, where you'll find more and more easy-to-do repairs that you can do to save yourself big money. But before we get started, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell. Believe it or not, this helps me continue making these videos. All right, you guys. Well, the 1998 Land Rover Discovery 1 saga continues. Anyway, so today we're going to be replacing the coolant overflow reservoir, bottle or tank, or whatever term you prefer. Anyway, we're going to be replacing this. Now, number one, there's a couple of things I want to say about this tank. Number one, why did they make this thing black? How are you supposed to tell if you're running low? It seems like they should have made this out of clear plastic. Number two, it has a seam in the middle. Now you know as well as I, anytime you glue 2 pieces of plastic together and apply heat and pressure, you know what's going to happen to it. Who's the genius that thought about doing it this way? The other thing too you need to think about, if it's a 1998, this vehicle's kind of old. So if you haven't replaced this yet, you probably should. Mine started leaking when I was driving up the driveway. I can only imagine what would have happened if I was out in the middle of nowhere. So if you haven't replaced yours, I would suggest you replace yours. It's not that hard. It's not that expensive. I think the tank costs around $30, $40. And it's 3 nuts to remove. And you need to remove 2 hoses with a screwdriver. So there's no reason why you shouldn't take this tank out and replace it. If you don't, and you're in the middle of nowhere and it fails, well, don't say I didn't tell you so. All right, let's look in the engine. I'll show you where it's at. Of course, you got to pop the hood and it's on the passenger side towards the front. Okay, here's the tank. And if you look to the back, you're going to see 2 nuts, one on the left, one on the right where the 2 arrows are at. All right, if you look towards the front of the tank on the bottom, you're going to see a bolt that you're going to need to remove. Again, it's right where the red arrow is at. Then if you look underneath to the left, you're going to see a small hose. You're going to remove that hose right where the red arrow's at. And if you look to the right of that hose, you'll see a bigger hose. And you're also going to remove that, again, right where that red arrow's at. So you can see it's really easy to remove. The only thing you're going to have to worry about is when you take the hoses apart, you're going to have some leakage, so make sure you have a drip pan underneath. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a 10mm box wrench, or whatever wrench you have, and we're going to remove this nut. I've got this ratcheted box wrench here, and it works pretty good. Once you remove the nut, there is a washer. Be careful when removing it not to lose the washer, because it's going to fall down the engine and you're going to have a hell of a time trying to find that washer. Okay, let's go to the other side and remove the nut. Again, once you got the nut removed, be careful not to lose that washer. Now this one's going to be tight. It's going to be hard to get your hand in there. So what I typically do is I'll get a magnet and I'll put it at the end of the stud and kind of work the washer out, and the washer will automatically stick to the magnet, and it has a 90% chance that it won't fall down. The magnet will pick it up. So there's a little trick for you there. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to remove that bottom bolt. It's also a 10mm bolt. Just go ahead and remove it. I'm using a deep socket with about a 6-inch extension and a ratchet. I got a battery ratchet that I'll be using here in a sec. Again, just don't drop the bolt. That's where the long socket comes in. It captures the bolt when it's loose. And this bolt, for some reason, doesn't have a washer. But again, just be careful when you're taking the bolt out if you do have a washer. Now that we removed the bolts and nuts from the tank, we can start to remove the tank. The problem is that I found, it may happen to you, but it happened to me. In this corner here, the tank won't come out because this box is in the way. It's a fuse box. It hits right here in the corner. So you're going to have to remove one more bolt, and that's an 8mm bolt. Just go ahead and remove the one bolt that's towards the front. That's all you need to remove. Okay, now we can remove the two hoses that are on the bottom of the tank. Just grab the tank and move it upward. I've got a small 9mm socket that's attached to this spring screwdriver. This is really handy. They're at Home Depot. You can pick them up for about, I don't know, $4 or $5, if that. If you don't have one of these, trust me, get one. It's pretty handy when you get into tight places. If you don't have one, that's not a problem. Just use your screwdriver. Anyway, let's remove the small hose first. Make sure your pan is underneath, because once you take these hoses off, you're going to start leaking fluid. Once you have it loose, just grab the hose and twist it off. Do the same thing for the larger hose. Okay, now that we got this tank off, let's go ahead and open up the box and get the new one out and take a look at it. Make sure it's correct. Like I said, I got this tank online. It was around, gosh, if I remember correctly, it was like 29 bucks. It was about a month ago when I ordered this thing. Anyway, it looks like it's the right one. The only bummer part is then you give me a cap for it. Oh well, I guess I'm going to have to use my old one. Alright. Let's get this thing installed. Okay, just get the tank and put the large hose in. If you can, you probably want to replace those hose clamps. Since it's a 1968, these hose clamps are pretty old, so you probably want to replace them. Mine still look pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and keep them. Just go ahead and squeeze the hose all the way up, then slide your hose clamp up and tighten it up. That's it. Alright, let's go to the smaller hose. Same thing, just put the hose in, all the way up, slide your hose clamp up, and tighten the hose clamp up. Alright, just now settle your tank in and let's get the bolts and nuts in. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to place all the nuts and bolts back into their proper places. Now that you have them all in by hand, now what we're going to do is we're going to tighten up all three of the bolts and nuts. Then we're going to go ahead and put the bolt back on that fuse box. Once you have that done, you're pretty much complete. All you need to do now is just refill your tank. Don't forget to burp your hose, put the cap on, and get it up to engine temperature. Drive around the block a couple times, see if you have any leaks, and just keep your eye on it for the next week. And that's about it. You're done. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it was very informative. Please check out my other how-to videos. Oh, and check out my new website. There's new items being put in there every day. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and of course, hit the bell. Until then, we'll see you at my next video. Bye.